I saw a video where somebody was asking people to de-influence them from buying houses and explain why they wish they'd stayed in an apartment, so I thought I'd share my story. So grab your coffee, let's go to the porch. When we bought this house, it had been sitting on the market for a little bit of time, and we suspected that was because it was overpriced, which was probably true, but it was centrally located between all of my guys' businesses, so we thought it was the best option for us. We'd also unsuccessfully tried to buy a couple other houses, and at this point we were just fatigued with the whole process. We paid for 2 extra inspections that weren't required just to make sure that we weren't getting a money pit. We were told that the previous owners of this house bought it from an elderly couple. The man had passed away and they were buying it and refurbishing it to live in. Unfortunately, what we found out from the neighbors is that they broke up, so they put the house up for sale. Our understanding is that nobody lived here for 2 years in the interim between the older gentleman dying and the other couple who were fixing the house up for themselves. Within 24 hours of being here, all of the drains stopped draining and the toilet stopped flushing. So of course we called a plumber. That plumber came out, he took the toilet off, he tried to flush the line. I think he could only go like 25 feet at that point and told us there was basically a bunch of sanitary products, so it wouldn't be an issue. The next day it still wasn't working, so we called a bigger company, one that had the name Rooter in it, and they came out and they flushed the line 50 feet. Now our house is kind of set back on the property and it is a long way to the road, so they weren't able to go all the way to the main at that time, but they told us, if anything else happens, give them a call and they'll come back out. And that was enough for about 40 days. Unfortunately, overnight, it just stopped working again. So we called the big company with the Rooter in the name, and they said, unfortunately, it's been over 30 days. So we'll come out, but it's like a new thing where it's not going to be covered under the previous service. They come out and flush the line 50 feet and tell us, we're not sure what's going on. We don't know if it's the age of the pipe. We don't know if there's further blockage down the way. We need to come back with a bigger camera, a bigger rig, and send it all the way to the main. So they came back, they dug up the yard, they ran a camera all the way to the main, and what they told us is that there was a belly in the pipe right before the main, basically under the road in front of our house, and then this is creating a lip into the main. This is a problem because the road in front of our house is a state highway. They quoted us something in the 6-figure range, which is almost half the cost of our house. I go into problem-solving mode. Can we put in a pump in the front yard? No. Can we put a septic tank on the property? No, that's against the law. Can we do a blow line? No. The only solution we have for you is digging up the highway, digging up your entire front yard, leveling everything back out, and getting it back to the main. I start calling every single plumber in the tri-state area to see if they have ever serviced the house in the last 5 years since they redid the road. One plumber admitted that they had been out to the house, but when I started asking further questions, he stopped communicating with me. We tried to see if this would be covered under our homeowner's insurance. Unfortunately, that is a separate policy that they don't tell you about, and when you buy a house, you get inundated with all sorts of spam, and the realtors are always like, just ignore that, just ignore that. Well, don't ignore that one. Actually, maybe get the coverage for your sewage line. So what about the city? Are they responsible because they had the big road put in that is weighing down the line? I don't know. Haven't been able to get any communication from them. We've consulted with other companies and we're basically been told the same thing, that that is the only solution. One of the solutions that was told to us was to make a big public stink in the media, and we don't really want to do that. My guy is a public figure, he owns a bunch of small businesses, and we don't want to make enemies of the city. Would it be nice if they took responsibility of it since that's their road? Sure. Are they going to? Probably not. To add insult to injury, we're pretty sure that the first company with Rooter in the name actually busted our pipe in the front yard because the next plumber that came and looked at the situation said, hey, there's pieces of clay tile where they dug up, right? And we were like, no, we did not know that. So we are frozen with indecision and fear because we can't afford to do that and we don't know what to do from this point on. So if you have any suggestions, I'm open to hear them.